The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and contributors, and are not those of WKYU-TV, its management, or WKU.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, back live and direct, all up in your domes. It's another fresh episode of Topper Talk. We were off last week, so we're back with another fresh episode. Woody, you're back.
I'm back.
Thanks for coming back, man.
A little bit under the weather last time we had a show.
It
Coached
happens,
a whole
man.
soccer tournament in the rain the weekend before, but I'm excited to be back.
So, anyway, we're back with another brand new episode. And once again, I'm Sean Williams.
Did you all have a good week off, by the way?
I got my couple of teeth pulled.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
That's not fun.
That's not fun.
Wednesday night, tooth started hurting. Like, my whole left jaw was killing me, so I go have my wisdom tooth pulled and a molar pulled. They were colliding. Of course, I don't have the straightest teeth in the world either.
Well,
so
at least you made good use of your time away from here.
yeah, getting some teeth
good.
pulled,
Yeah.
losing some sleep.
Anyway, I'm Shane Bearden.
No, you're not.
Woody White, I'm here. What's up?
All right, welcome back to the show, guys. Of course, we're on like a little bi-weekly rotation right now, so guys, keep that in mind. Next week's show will be another replay of a previous show, so we're going to be back in a couple of weeks with a new show. But for now, we got a lot of things happening in the Western Kentucky sports world. We'll kind of start things off with some football departures, which we kind of talked about during the last show because James Morrow announced that he was transferring.
Right.
But we also had the other names come out that were either transferring, got released from a scholarship, or just decided not to come back and play for Western. You guys seen the list? What are your thoughts about it? Everything like that?
Woody?
Yeah, Woody, come back.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about a little bit before the show. Bo Brand's the name that sticks out to me on the list. Obviously, Morrow, as we talked about. But I really liked what Bo Brand offered us. And, I think we've got some good receivers that can come in and replace him. But he was an exciting player in his time here. So he was the one that stood out to me mostly. But like I said, I think we've got some capable guys coming in that can replace what production he had, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the list, and I know there was a lot of rumors swirling around that, there's some big names on the list. But it turns out really that the biggest names on the list as far as people that actually played and contributed were James Morrow and Bo Brand. Yep. The others were kind of reserve role players and, just kind of walk-on type players that just decided not to come back. I think
that kind of stuff happens not only in coaching changes, but it happens from season to season anyway. I mean, Taggart dealt with that, when he was here with players he recruited as well. Sometimes there's a lot of turnover in college football when you have that many kids on a roster. Not all of them are going to work out. It's just the way it is.
I think a lot of the thing that ruffled a few feathers, amongst the fans and everything was just probably the amount of people. But obviously Morrow being one of them, of course projected to be the starter coming into the spring practice. And, obviously things didn't work out with him with the new system and everything like that. Obviously Petrino sat down, assessed all the players on the roster and determined which ones would be welcome to his offensive style and which ones, really needed to go, I guess. And, it's kind of like I don't know, I guess say Petrino's kind of more like a business-type coach. You kind of classify him in the Nick Saban-type category. He's all business. He wants to win. He's got a system he believes in, and he wants players that, will buy into that system and perform well. So
And he's a quarterback guy. I mean, he knows quarterbacks. So, I mean,
you got Morrow, and you got the JUCO Fishback coming in, and you got Todd Porter coming in as well. So you already got, aside from Morrow leaving, we still got 4 quarterbacks that have been on the roster. So
And Fishback, not a lot of people are talking about him, but he could definitely be a quarterback that comes in. I mean, he, don't rule him out for taking that starting spot away from Dowdy just yet.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, he's got the tools to do it.
You look at his film; he's got everything that Petrino wants in a quarterback.
Yep.
He's got a good arm, got escapability when the pocket breaks down, and when he does escape and decide to run, I mean, he's got decent speed. He can gain 20 yards if he wants to.
Yep.
So I think he'll definitely come in and make a run for the starting job with Dowdy. I mean, it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be quarterback battle part 2 coming this fall. Except we're going to have
cast members in there.
we're going to have a couple of new cast members, and like I said, DeMarcus Smith's still there. I don't think he'll get the starting job necessarily just by the way he looked during the spring, but you never know. He might, improve on his skills during the summer, come in the fall, and make a pretty good impact. So. That'll be something to look forward to, but, quarterback battle part 2. But, as far as the players on the list, the only other name that really stood out was, wide receiver Bo Brand, who, has a lot of experience, got a lot of playing time. That was kind of to be unexpected, but it's like you said, Woody, I mean, Petrino's got a lot of wide receivers that are coming in this next recruiting class, and he's definitely dependent on them to come in and make an immediate impact. And you look at the type of receivers he likes. He likes those receivers that have a track background and they have a lot of speed. So
And size. I
Yeah.
mean, that's something, Bo Brand, I mean, he had the speed, but he was a little guy, and these guys that Petrino's bringing in, I mean, they're all 6 foot around that size, maybe a little over, but they all are just as fast.
if you're a little wide receiver, you at least better be a 100-meter track star in high school. If you're gonna be
Yeah.
But
or,
you see,
or have really great hands to be a good slot receiver.
exactly, yeah. And I mean, that's kind of the way the system's going to be run, You want fast receivers, wide receiver screens, quick slants, and things like that. You get the ball in the receiver's hands, and they can make plays afterwards. I mean, you got other people on the list. Neil Wilson, of course, when we kind of talked about him at the last show, worked really hard, got a scholarship last year. Taggart gave it to him, and, kind of got it taken away this year. But, it's like you said, Shane, this happens every year. No matter if there's a coaching change or not, but especially when there's a coaching change, there's a new system coming in. So, you're going to see players leave and lose their scholarships, and, players decide not to come back.
And coaches are dictators. I mean, they want their everything to be their way. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you can't really blame them for it. I mean, they're getting paid to do a job, and judging by how good they do, that's gonna affect their career. So they want things to be their way. Yeah. And I mean, that's you can't put any blame on the coaches for that.
Yeah, a lot of fans kind of, especially Western still being a relatively new D1 program, we hadn't got used to this business side of things yet. We're used to having the roster, the roster, who's going to be there. We're not really used to this much turnover, but with Petrino at the head coach, we can't really argue with his success that he's had. I think I've got complete faith in him, knowing who he needs on the roster, who needs to go. As painful as that is to say sometimes, fans might like to hear that, but we can't argue with his track record. So I think hopefully the decisions were the right ones, and we'll see the fruit of that this fall.
Well, and you kind of in a way saw the writing on the wall with a lot of people leaving, with how many players we signed in the signing class this year too. I mean, we had a massive signing class, so you had to think. I mean, those roster spots have to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Ray Harper basically did the same thing. So
exactly, that's a good point.
It's not any different.
That's for sure.
And people are kind of a little upset about it because I guess Petrino's new and all that stuff, but everybody loves Ray.
Yeah.
So and he did the exact same thing. Ray's taking it the same way. So.
Yeah. Well, it's like I said, I kind of put Petrino in the Saban category just because it's all business. You got to do what he wants. He believes in his system, and he's gonna make some moves that's gonna ruffle people's feathers and fans' feathers and things like that. Because everybody saw what Morrow did last year when he came in against Arkansas State. We're down by 13 points, 26 consecutive points. But I mean, that was a whole different system, a whole different coaching staff. If that same system and coaching staff were here, then he probably would be the starting quarterback going into the fall. But it's different, a whole new coaching system or a coaching style and a whole new coaching staff coming in here. So, I mean, things like that are to be expected. And like I said, I know there's a lot of rumors circulating that, it wouldn't, aside from Morrow, there would be bigger names, but, it turned out not to be as big of a deal as people were making it out to be before the list came out.
Well, speaking of rumors like that, we got somebody tweeting in asking
Juicy rumors.
There's a WKU football starter that may be transferring to South Florida.
Now, there's another rumor there.
You know anything about that rumor?
I don't know anything about that rumor.
I haven't heard much on that one.
Here's the thing about that. That rumor started a long time ago,
Yeah.
and that curtailed around Antonio Andrews saying that he would graduate this year and be able to transfer out and play immediately at South Florida under Taggart's system. But I just don't see that happening, though. I mean,
So
I always
what
say
this guy's talking about or not, but
I always say
I don't know
this.
what else
It's Paul Neal. He's one
Yeah.
of our faithful
Paul
listeners
definitely
and
knows what's going
followers.
on.
But I just don't see it happening just because I think, it's like I said before, I think Antonio Andrews is the perfect weapon to have in this offense. So I mean,
I think Antonio knows that too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gotten the running side of things down. If he wants to make it at the next level in the NFL, if he can show his, ability to catch the ball out of the backfield in a Petrino offense and that kind of stuff, he can show his all-around skill set even more than he already has.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he can work his way up up the draft boards, because I mean he's already being talked about being drafted now too. I mean there's no reason for him to transfer when he can easily go pro from here. There's no reason to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you see the success that, I mean, and the impression that Bobby Rainey made whenever he went to the NFL in Ravens camp. You know, the ability to catch the ball in the backfield was his big thing.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Antonio Andrews is all that. I mean, he's kind of like a kind of a five-tool running back.
Yep.
He can run, he can, you know, line up at receiver, and he can return kicks and punts if he wants to.
He can throw screen passes from the
He can
opposite
throw
side
screen
of the
passes from
field.
the opposite side of the field and beat Kentucky in overtime.
which by the way, I don't know if y'all saw today. There were a lot of people
checking
talking
your
about
nails
it.
over there. Shane?
Yeah, there was a lot of people talking about it, about Kentucky Sports Radio, talking about, you know, how UK's favored over Western.
Yeah, I've
and,
seen people talk about
and
that
trying
on
to
Twitter.
try to get
About the
involved
Vegas
in
line.
Yeah, and UK fans basically, you know, saying, oh, there's no way they're going to hang that close to us this year, and we're so much better this year. And you think they would have learned their lesson after
It's the
last
fear,
year.
man. It's the fear factor.
It's just that just comes with dealing with UK fans. I
Well,
suppose.
here's my thing about Vegas lines. I mean, it's early. I mean, the game's still more than 3 months away, so
Yeah,
I mean
exactly.
that number's going to change. And it's like we've said on this show before. You know, you got Petrino, who's the consummate head coach, proven track record, and you got Mark Stoops, this is his first head coaching gig. Now, you know, give him all the credit in the world for being a great defensive coordinator. You know, in his past, but you know, it'd be interesting to see. I mean, you know, Stoops is doing a good job with, you know, kind of pumping some new blood in that Kentucky program. But you know, you look at the rosters now and the way they'll be next year. I mean, you can make an honest case that Western's got the most talented roster of the two.
Yep.
So you know, that day will come. I'm not worried about Las Vegas odds and what the
Vegas was
spread
wrong
is
last
right
year,
now. It's over 3 months away, so I'm not too worried about that. Moving on.
Paul Neal also wants to know, in regards to, we brought up the basketball stuff. He's asking if there's any more departures or any more signees coming in for next season. As of right now, no more departures, and the spring signing period is over. But I mean, we're still waiting on whether or not Frederick Edmond is going to be academically eligible for this year or not. He will get here, enroll on campus. So he says.
I see him tweeting about ACT prep all the time, so
yeah.
I'm assuming it's kind of going to see how that goes.
that-
So I mean, that's if there's any more additions.
That might be a deciding
That may
factor
be a
how he does on
deciding-
ACT.
If
He lost
there's
his car keys today, too. He was tweeting about that, so hopefully he can get that worked out.
That's great. It's good to know, Woody, man. Appreciate
I'm,
it.
I'm on top of things over here.
but
Yeah, OMG Insider over there.
but he won't actually be a signee though, since
What kind of car does he drive?
I don't know. Yeah, what kind of car does he drive with?
I hope we just find his keys and have something to drive.
Yeah, but go ahead, Shane.
I was just saying he won't be he won't technically be a signee.
Yeah.
He'll just enroll on campus and basically get financial aid towards playing, being a student athlete, but he won't actually be a signee like he would.
It'd kind of almost be like a transfer, except he's
Yeah,
going to have to work on his
almost.
grades for a year
Yeah,
to get
basically.
eligible. And,
Basically.
you know, we'll wait and see how that plays out and everything. But, I mean, you know, talking about the basketball and the departures and everything like that, we did have an addition, which was Peyton Halsey.
Halsey.
That was made official by Western the other day. So, I mean, he's the newest addition and seems to be the last piece of the puzzle for the roster.
A
this
tall
year.
point guard.
Yeah, I was going to get you guys' thoughts about him. I mean, what
I
are your
love a
thoughts
good
about him?
Memphis baller. There's players from Memphis always seem to have a certain kind of quality that I think Ray Harper probably looks for in a player. So I think you know, he'll have a chance to come in and earn a spot right away. You know, point guard is kind of a position of need, especially the first couple games until Harrison Docks is ready to play. So if Ray is grooming him as a point guard, like it sounds like, he may have a chance to come in and sort of be thrown into the fire kind of quick. I don't know if he'll be ready for that.
I mean,
but
think about the height. If you have a 6'4" guy
Oh, yeah.
playing at point guard, I mean that's a matchup problem waiting to happen. And he's, you know, from everything I've read, he's fast. He passes the ball really well. I mean, he flirted a couple times with triple double numbers in high school. He's a good rebounding guard, which is, you know, something that Western really
Oh, absolutely.
really loves. So I mean, I think he'll come in and you know, he could be one that comes in and makes an impact.
He's played on a team with a lot of guys that have signed D1 scholarships last
Yep.
couple of years, and I've seen quotes from them saying he was the most important part of that team. And that's what gets me excited about a player is somebody that can come in and fill a role. May not light up the stat sheets, even though
That floor general.
the floor general type for sure. That's you gotta have someone like that. And you know, Ray being a former point guard, I think he probably has a special bond with the point guards. And knows what to get out of them, knows how to push them. So if Ray sees something in him that he thinks can benefit our team, then I'm all for signing him and bringing him on. And I'm excited about him. A tall point guard, like you said, I enjoy watching them play. That's a pretty cool characteristic to have in a point guard for sure.
Yeah, you said he was flirting earlier. I thought you were going to say he was flirting with a Kardashian or something.
I don't know about that. He hadn't made the NBA yet. They kind of set their
Yeah, he's
sights
got to
a
get to
little
that
high.
level first.
But we also have another question in from Michael Stewart, which is at DiddleDog65.
Little dog.
Diddle Dogs.
It's nice. That's a nice Twitter name.
It is. He wants to know who's going to stay longer, Bobby Petrino or Ray Harper. I think that's kind of a no-brainer in Ray Harper.
I think that was a comedic question.
Yeah.
I told people this weekend if I would have won the Powerball, I was going to make it for sure that Petrino would stay forever. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. So
You didn't go to Florida this week?
no.
Okay. You got a little tan, man.
I did.
didn't
Yeah,
know.
this is from coaching these past two this tournament this weekend. I was in Clarksville. The sun was killing me.
Yeah. Sunscreen man.
I gotta
Yeah,
learn.
so obviously maybe a no-brainer on that one. We're all gonna go unanimously with Ray
I'll
Harper.
stick with Ray
Yeah.
for that
Yeah,
one.
I
for
think
sure.
we'll.
I think there's a very good chance Ray will retire at Western as long as he continues to perform. And
Here's and here's my thing about Bobby Petrino. Even if he's here a year, even if he's here 2 years, just enjoy it.
it's still a
enjoy
win.
the
It's
ride.
still
Right,
it's
yeah.
still a win-win for Western.
Exactly.
With
I
the
mean-
contract we have him for and everything, it's still a win-win regardless.
How many times throughout our history have we been able to say we've had one of the top 5 to 10 coaches in their particular sport on campus? That's like you said, whether he's here for 1 year or 2 years, just enjoy the ride. Just this season especially, it's going to be a fun ride for
Yeah.
sure.
And I mean, look at the rankings that what was it CBS or did for college football ranking college football coaches. He still came in top 10.
Yeah.
I mean, he's hasn't coached in a year and is still considered one of the top 10 coaches in the country.
Yeah.
So I mean,
And
he knows what he's doing, and
Well,
he's here on
obviously,
the hill.
obviously in that year, of course, he did what he had to do to solve his, marriage problems and everything. But he ain't sitting around on the couch not doing anything. He's sitting around watching film, and like I said, flirted with some BCS schools that just decided to pass on him for the time being. And like I said, it's
Not-
great.
Not with any Kardashians.
Yeah,
or
that's right.
anything like that, though.
Yeah, thank you for making that clear. Thank you for clarifying
You're
that
welcome.
Kardashian update.
That's what I'm here for.
Shane, are you an OMG insider too?
I am.
We're on top of the gossip today. For
Yeah,
sure.
we're on it.
Y'all need to be on E. I got y'all's type of show.
Maybe we can get them to simulcast Topper Talk from now
I
on.
think so. We just chime in
Let's
for like
work
a
on that.
5-minute segment while we're live on air.
Yeah.
But yeah, just enjoy the ride. I mean, somebody's gonna give me a second chance, so it might as well have been us. And Todd Stewart made a great move in that regard. So
Yep.
to have one of the top 10 coaches in America coaches for at least one season, I mean, that's a great thing
I think
for
the
the
big
school.
thing for Western, we need to worry about holding on to Todd Stewart.
Yeah.
That contract he had with Petrino was stroke of genius.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was unbelievable, and he got a lot of praise from ESPN people and everybody for that contract.
Freebie this year.
Yep. And I mean, so that's one of those things. I think we need to shore him up too. I mean, he's proven to be everywhere he's gone. He's been an asset, and we need to keep him here on the hill. And I think he loves it here. So that might work in our favor.
Yeah. Well, let's get back to some basketball talk. We were talking about Halsey being officially announced as part of the basketball roster. You look at the new blood we have coming into this roster. Of course, like you said, Harper, there's some transfers that happened in basketball that made some room for some new people. Obviously, some JUCO transfers and things like that. But out of Halsey and the two JUCOs and Chris Harrison Docks and Trincy Jackson, I mean, out of that group of new faces on the basketball roster, I mean, which guy do you think is going to have the biggest impact on the team next year with those new guys? Anybody?
You go first, Shane.
Go,
All right.
go first, Shane.
I mean, all right. I'm going to preface this.
There could
with,
be a 1 and a 1A if
okay.
you need to.
Well, 1A is, even though he was on the roster but didn't play last year, I'm going to say Nigel Snipes coming back from injury is going to be a big key to next year's
I'll
team.
let you slide on that one. We'll throw him in the new face category.
Yeah,
even though
because,
he's not
I mean, he didn't
new.
play last year.
Well,
you know,
yeah,
that's-
I'm
you know.
talking about the new guys.
He's kind of a new face. I mean,
Okay.
anyway, but as far as the new guys, I think Chris Harrison Docks, once he is eligible to start playing in December, I think he'll be one that will stand out. I mean, he was recruited to Butler for a reason. He's a great point guard up there from up near Detroit, right?
He played against Boo Man in high
yeah.
school. Him and Boo Man had some battles.
But he's a good point guard, and I think he could end up seeing a lot of time at point guard this year, whether in a starting role or backup role, either one. I think he'll get some minutes as the season progresses, and he actually was able to start playing.
You guys were talking about stroke of genius by Harper to get Halsey. I mean, it is a stroke of genius because Chris Harrison-Dox won't be available till December for transfer issues. So, I mean, you look at getting Halsey, he can come in and make an immediate impact right away at the point guard position. So,
And I think Caspar and Harris, you'll see them splitting a lot of time early, while the
but
new
you would
guys
agree
kinda
that they're
get
probably
acclimated.
natural two guards, though, right?
They don't have the size to be natural two guards. Their game is probably best suited to play off the ball rather than running the show. But if that's something they work on over the summer, I mean, who knows where they'll be at when the fall starts.
All right, Woody, your turn.
I really like the one whose name I can't pronounce, of course.
That's Shane's job.
Samaro,
Yeah, Samaro. We'll go with him. Obviously, as a big man, I have
he's 1C for me, by the way.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Okay.
I got a soft spot in my heart for the big men, and I think between him and Rostov, both being 6'10 plus, we're going to have the pretty solid front court, and that's, just looking at the roster, the way it's going to shape out. It's been a long time since I've seen this much depth. I mean, obviously that counts on the new guys kind of living up to the expectations we're having for them. But we look, with Rostov and Samaro at the 5, you got George and Aaron Adeoye. I think I pronounced that one right, hopefully. At the 4,
We'll accept that.
we'll go with, you got Nigel, Caden, TJ, Trincy Jackson, Brandon, Casper, all those guards that you can rotate at the 1, 2, and 3. There's just so much depth and so much
Size.
Yeah, definitely a bigger roster than we're used to too. So
You'd probably say a lot of athleticism, too.
I'm really anxious to see what Samaro's going to bring to the table, though. We've been missing that kind of Jeremy Evans, El Grace type of player. I don't know if Samaro's that necessarily high of a flyer, but I love a good shot blocker, so I'm hoping that's what he can come out and
And he can run the
to
floor,
us.
which
Yeah.
is, that's what Harper wants.
Yeah.
He wants to run, push the pace, and that could end up being a fun show, especially
excited.
with all the high flyers we're going to have.
Yeah.
That's one more reason why I'm glad
Just-
Nigel's going to be back.
And hearing about Trincy, obviously he had the foot or knee injury. I forget which one it was, but I hear stories about him dunking with the boot on, like just messing around like an open gym with his big boot, going out and dunking. That's just mind blowing to me.
It's almost as impressive as you, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think you could say with definitely the new faces coming in, that this is by far, it's going to see a lot of the athleticism on the court. You're going to see a lot of up and down basketball. Definitely a huge upgrade in athleticism, in my opinion, when it comes to this roster. It's like you guys said, it's going to be a fun team to watch next year, especially when Harrison-Dox and Jackson get in the mix in December, and they kind of get a few games under their belt, and they get the ball rolling and everything. It's going to be real fun. So I think we'll, barring any injury bugs, hopefully, that we'll definitely. What do you guys think? 25 wins?
We'll go with that.
I'm comfortable with that.
I'm comfortable with that.
All right, cool.
Especially in the Sun Belt being what it's going to be too.
Yeah.
I hate to knock the conference that we're leaving, but
Well, speaking of
Speaking
Sunbelt,
of
that's
that.
a great transition
that's what I was hoping
to
for. I hope
Yeah.
you're catching what I was throwing out there.
Good job, Woody.
this fantastic Sunbelt logo. I mean, Woody, can you describe this logo for us? I mean, it looks brilliant.
I
It
know
looks
y'all
like a
laugh at
fifth
me every
grader
time I
might have
bring
did
up.
it,
I know
but
y'all laugh at me every time I bring up Haven, but somebody on there had the best description. It was, it was a lifesaver plus, it was something else. But yeah, like we said, it looks like they made a contest for like some elementary school kids to design a logo and just picked which one ever they thought was best. I mean,
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's-
I do kind of like the idea for each school
That is the
having
cool part of it.
their own colors in it. But yeah, the logo's just
it's pretty
come on.
bland.
yeah. I really, honestly, when it comes to Sunbelt logos, I think it was 2 logos ago. I like the Flaming Sun.
The Flaming Sun was
The
pretty
Flaming
cool.
Sun was great. But, yeah, this new one just doesn't really cut the mustard, man. I mean, like I said, it just looks like, it's like you said, they had a fifth elementary school coloring contest.
I
And
really think they're just
And it was,
playing a
it was a
joke.
color between the lines. contest.
I think they just want to play a joke on us just because we're leaving, just to have to make us paint that on our fields and
I
courts
think
and
so,
everything,
yeah.
And then make us turn around and do
then they'll
CUSA
redo
next
the logo after
They'll make
everybody
another
leaves.
logo next
Well, they'll
year,
just
yeah.
keep doing that every year because it just keeps happening. They'll just keep taking away
luckily,
teams
luckily
that
we only have to deal with that logo for a year,
Yeah,
and then we can transition to something
transition
a little
to
better.
CUSA action.
Yep.
All right, so let's talk about softball. We can't finish the show without
Right.
talking about the accomplishments of the softball team.
Absolutely huge historic weekend
Yep.
for the softball team. Coach Tyra Perry, they made it to the regional final in Tuscaloosa. Had a heartbreaking loss to Alabama in the second round game, and then Alabama kind of put us out with authority there in the final.
Yeah.
But they're the defending national champions, so that's what they should do. Us being our first time to ever make it to that stage, that is kind of what you would expect. But I think we made just an excellent showing down there. We had a great couple games against USC upstate, and then made a pretty good showing against Alabama too. So we're
the
final 32 teams in the country. That's pretty big time.
I mean, you talk about the 7-6 loss to Alabama. I think that was on Saturday. I mean, that shows you that our Lady Toppers had a lot of fight in them to take the national champions.
I mean,
Yep.
a play here or there, we win that game, and you go into Sunday with Alabama having to
story.
beat us twice. That's a completely different story. We
Yeah.
could have brought Russo back to the mound, and all she has to do is win one out of 2 games. And
Yeah.
she was pretty dominant down there. So I think I liked our chances there. But they had a great season. To be regular season champs in the Sun Belt.
The first time
With-
ever.
I remember if it was Lafayette or South Alabama, whichever one it was. They won their regional.
Lafayette
and
did.
Lafayette won, and
They
they
beat
did allow
LSU.
a run. Yeah. I mean that's big
Twice.
time.
Beat
Yeah.
LSU twice.
So Sunbelt softball's it's solid, and for us to be regular season champs, that's pretty big for
Conference
for the
USA
program.
softball, not so solid.
Not so solid.
So we're going to be taking a step down
So
there.
hopefully-
So we're already predicting Conference USA softball domination when we enter the Conference
Well,
USA.
I don't know about all that, but
Might as well.
it's just going to be a little step down from what we've been used to.
Lady Tops finished 43-18 on the season, and like I said, they win the Sun Belt Conference regular season title for the first time ever. So kudos to them.
Definitely a big
Great
shout out for
season
them.
and a
Yep.
great showing against the defending national champions
Yep.
Alabama. So we got a little bit of time left, so we'll move on to baseball. I know they're fixing to crank up the SBC tournament.
Getting ready for that this weekend.
Finished the regular season,
Strong.
sweeping the Mutts.
6-0 against MTSU this season. That makes me happy.
Yep.
It makes every Hilltopper fan happy, right? When you just beat Middle Tennessee all the
In
time.
anything. Actually, I don't even get that thrilled beating them in anything, just because, they're not on our level. That's the way I look at it.
Okay, snob.
I was reading one of their message boards the other day talking about them probably going to be the Bubas Cup champs again. And I was like, well, you have golf and tennis. That's
Yeah.
pretty much all you have this year.
That's the big reason is because you get a lot more points for golf and tennis
Yeah.
than you do for anything else
It's so
for whatever
weird.
reason. So they win it pretty much every
I got a
year.
buddy that plays golf for MTSU, so I can't diss him too bad.
I thought Bubiska. I thought y'all were talking about some European soccer league or something.
I can talk about that. That's a different show, though.
Let's save that for another show.
But
It's
yeah,
not
they-
called Topper Talk.
Baseball team.
Unless Western starts bringing back men's soccer and
They
all
need
that
to
stuff.
hire me as a coach, Todd. I know you're watching. I'm getting my credentials. We'll be good to go.
All right. Well, the Hilltoppers are 28-27, 16-14 in the Sun Belt going into the tournament, and they play 4th seed Florida Atlantic on let's see,
Tough game.
Wednesday.
Wednesday,
9 in the morning.
9 in the morning. It's an early riser.
It is. I'll
Get up and get that McGriddle and head to the ballpark.
FAU pretty well took care of us in the series here to close out the home season. So
Yep.
Yeah.
maybe they'll overlook us. Maybe we'll come in with some momentum off sweeping MTSU again. But it'll probably be a tough game for us. But hopefully we can come out and make a pretty good showing. I mean,
It's a double elimination tournament
Yeah,
too. So I mean, just because we lose Wednesday, we'll still get a
those
chance.
tournaments,
To,
crazy things always happen.
Yeah,
So, I mean, all you got to do is get hot at the right time. And
exactly,
hopefully that's
and
what we can do.
that's like Shane
Yep.
said. That's why it's important that we swept Middle Tennessee there
Yeah.
at the end of the season. So hopefully the hot streak can continue on into the tournament. So we got a little bit of time left. You guys want to add anything toward the end of the show here? Any shout outs or anything?
Shout out to Ernie Thomas, High and Tight BG.
Ernie.
Dye's Barbershop. Everybody go get your haircut.
Oh, you're throwing out sponsorships now?
Yeah. No, that's where I go get my haircut. My dad walked in. He's like, "Oh, you're
Yeah.
Topper Talk's father."
We got 5 seconds. All right, don't forget, we're not on air next week.
2
See
weeks.
us in 2 weeks.
See y'all then.
Go Tops.
Programming is brought to you in part by Wendy's, featuring their Morning Melt Panini and their Wendy's Artisan Egg Sandwich. Now offering breakfast at 3 locations in Bowling Green: Fairview, Scottsville Road, and Russellville Road.
This old house is a-getting shaky. This old house is a-getting old. This old house lets in the rain. This old house lets in the cold. Oh, my knees, I'm getting chilly, but I feel no fear of pain. Ain't got time to fix the shingles. Ain't got time to fix the floor. Ain't got time to oil the hinges, not to mend no window pane. This old house is a-getting feeble. This old house is a-needing paint.
to help a homeowner replace a rotted windowsill.
And I'm going to help a homeowner stay warm.
And I'm going to help a homeowner fix a leak in his roof.
When I was younger, so much younger than today, I never needed anybody's help.